Malik.
Yeah, I'm here.
Jones, 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 you deaf? The CO's voice bounced off the concrete as he walked the tier, clipboard in hand. Malik sat on the edge of the lower bunk, lacing his boots like he wasn't listening. Only when the officer stopped in front of the cell did he look up. "You got a new detail," the CO said. Malik's brows rose. "What happened to farm crew?" "Ask the warden," the CO said. "Effective today, you on levee and perimeter repair. Pack your ass up. They already waiting on you." Cameron, standing by the bars, felt his stomach tighten. "Why?" he blurted before he could stop himself. The CO flicked a look at him. "Because that's where your tax dollars decided he goes," the officer said flatly. "You got questions, write your congressman." He moved on, shouting for someone else down the tier. Malik watched him go, then looked up at Cameron, eyes thoughtful. "Well," he said. "Ain't that interesting?" "What does that mean?" Cameron asked. "It means they moving pieces around and they don't even know what game we playing." Malik said. "Levee work? That's more time outside the fence line when the river's high. More eyes on the ground we need to know about." "You make it sound like a blessing," Cameron said. "It sounds like more chances for them to put a bullet in you if they get jumpy." "That too," Malik said casually. "But sometimes God sends you opportunity dressed up like risk. You pay attention today," he told Cameron. "See how they shuffle your schedule too. They don't like to move just one thing. Always a chain." "What about you?" Cameron asked. "What if something happens out there?" Malik gave him a slow, cricket smile. "Then you better hope you've been taking good notes," he said. "I'll be back by count. Save me some of that dry-ass cornbread." The CO's keys rattled. The cell door groaned open. As Malik stepped past, their shoulders brushed. Just for a second. The slightest pressure. "Hey," Cameron said. Low. Malik glanced back. "Don't fall in," Cameron murmured. There was more under the words. Don't get shot. Don't disappear. Don't leave me in here alone. But the air was thick with guards and eyes, so he kept it simple. Malik's gaze softened. "I'll try not to," he said. "River like me too much for that." Then he was gone, swept into the movement of the tier, marching toward the gates and out into the heat. The levee felt like the edge of the world. On one side, Angola. Fence, razor wire, towers. The noise of radios and dogs and men. On the other, the wide, brown, rolling body of the Mississippi, heavy with rain from states away. The water moved slow, but you could see the power in the way it pulled at debris, swallowed branches, slapped against the concrete barriers. Malik's shirt stuck to his back with sweat as he shoveled sand into bags, hands moving on autopilot. His eyes, though, were busy, counting guard positions, clocking who smoked too much to keep watch properly, noticing a section of fence bent just a little more than the rest, as if the land underneath it shifted and never quite got fixed. "Jones!" One of the guards on levee duty barked. "Quit sightseeing. Sandbags ain't gonna fill theyself." "Yes, sir," Malik said, and let his gaze flip back to the river one more time before he bent to his work. The water stared back. Cameron didn't see Malik at lunch. The chow hall was louder than usual, a restless buzz under the clatter of trays. Everyone felt the shift. A crew reassigned here, another there. Weather alerts buzzing over guards' radios about storms rolling in off the Gulf. Herb slid onto the bench across from Cameron, setting down his tray with a sigh. "You look like someone stole your Bible," Herb muttered. Cameron pushed gray mashed potatoes around his plate. They moved Malik. "Yeah, I heard," Herb said, Levee work. That's hard duty, wet, hot, dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. He knows what he's doing, Cameron said quickly. He's smart. Herb studied him. You worry about him a lot for 2 weeks, Herb observed. You sure you ain't got nothing else to occupy your mind? Cameron flushed. He's my friend. Herb's mouth twitched. He let it go. You hear about the storm? Herb asked instead. Supposed to skirt us tonight. Heavy rain. They'll lock this place down tighter than usual. Dogs get wood up when thunder hits. Cameron nodded, but his eyes kept drifting to the Chow Hall entrance, waiting for Malik to appear. He didn't. By yard time, the sun had disappeared behind a wall of thick, dark clouds. Heat still clung to the ground, but the wind tasted different, metallic, electric. Guards stood closer to the doors. Radios, louder than normal. The yard clocked the shift in mood and matched it, like it always did. Cameron walked the edge of the fence, eyes scanning. He saw Reese holding court near the benches, laughing too hard at something one of his crew said. He saw Herb sitting under the one sad excuse for a tree, watching everything with that tired, steady gaze. He did not see Malik. Work detail running late, someone muttered behind him. Levy boys probably don't get rained on. Thunder rolled, low and long. Hey, smooth. The voice slid over his spine like oil. Cameron stiffened before he turned. Reese stood a few steps away, hands tucked into his pockets, like everything was casual. 2 of his people lingered nearby, not close enough to be obvious muscle, not far enough to be heartless. Cameron's jaw clenched. Not interested, he said. Ain't making you an offer this time, Reese said. Just chatting. He stepped closer, eyes raking over Cameron with open evaluation. Heard your boy on levee duty now, Reese said. That's rough. Long walk back, if it even happened. He'll be fine, Cameron said. He knows what he's doing. You keep saying that like it make it true, Reese said. But accidents happen out there. Mudslip, water rise. Folks fall in and don't come back. Or they come back different. He tilted his head. You ever think what you do if he just don't show up one day? Reese asked. Who gon' keep you from getting hurt then? Cameron's stomach twisted. I can take care of myself. Reese laughed softly. That's cute, he said. Tell you what. If Jones ever stopped coming to yard, you come find me. I'll make sure you breathe long enough to send your mama some more letters. He reached out, fingers brushing a piece of lint off Cameron's shirt, like they had every right to be there. Cameron flinched back, more reflex than choice. Reese's gaze sharpened. Don't be rude, he murmured. I'm trying to be generous. Back off him. The voice came from just behind Cameron's shoulder. Calm, low, a little breathless. Cameron turned so fast he almost stumbled. Malik stood a few feet away, damp from the levee. Mud splashed up his pants, shirt clinging to his chest. His cap sat crooked on his head, curls flattened with sweat. He looked tired. He looked furious. Reese's mouth twitched. Long day, Jones? He asked. We were just talking. I heard, Malik said. My name in it too much for my taste. He stepped up beside Cameron. That alone said more than any words. Side by side, close enough that their arms almost touched, they felt like a unit, instead of 2 separate targets. Your taste ain't what run this yard, Reese said. You know that. He leaned back on his heels, hands still in his pockets, but there was a new tension in his shoulders. The wind kicked up, tugging at shirts and hair. Thunder grumbled again, closer. Storm coming, Reese said. Keogh's gonna clear this place out any minute. You can't babysit him forever, Jones. He flipped a look at Cameron. Offer still stands, he said, when you finally realize you need something more dependable than hope and a pretty smile. He sauntered away, crew trailing him, the smell of cigarette smoke and trouble in his wake. Cameron's hands were shaking. He curled them into fists. You okay? Malik asked, eyes on Reese until he was out of range. I'm fine, Cameron said through his teeth. You don't look fine, Malik said. Sudden anger flashed through Cameron's chest. I'm sorry my expression doesn't meet your approval, he snapped. Maybe you should schedule my reactions next time. Since you apparently control my safety, my friendships, my... Whoa, Malik said, eyebrows lifting. Where that coming from? From you thinking you can just show up and fix things, Cameron said, voice low and sharp. Like I'm some problem you get to solve when it's convenient. Malik blinked. I just got back from shoveling mud by the river for 6 hours. Sorry I didn't clock in with you first. That's not what I mean, Cameron hissed. I mean, you talk about escape, like it's a group project. But you're the only one who gets to have secrets. You vanish all day, come back covered in mud, and expect me to just fall in line and be grateful you shooed Reese away. Malik's face stilled. You mad I protected you? He asked. That's a new one. Lightning flashed somewhere beyond the yard. The guards started shouting, herding people toward the doors. Yard's over! Let's go! Move it! The other inmates shuffled, grumbled, began to line up. Cameron and Malik stayed planted for a beat longer. I'm mad, Cameron said, that I feel safer when you're here and terrified when you're not, and you know that. You use it. You say, stick close, don't move, I'll keep an eye on you. Like, what am I supposed to do if you disappear, Malik? Just sign up with Reese? Wait for the river to swallow me too? His voice cracked on the last word. Something in Malik's expression softened, then hardened again. Get in line, a guard barked. Closer now. Rain started to spit from the heavy sky, fat drops hitting hot concrete, sizzling in the air. Malik's jaw clenched. We can't talk here, he said. Come on. He grabbed Cameron's wrist, not hard, but firmly, and pulled him toward the back of the forming line, cutting behind a cluster of men and a guard who was busy yelling at someone else. They slipped into the flow of bodies being pushed inside, Malik's grip steady as the rain picked up. The hallway from the yard to the main block was chaos. Wet footprints, shouted orders, thunder rolling like furniture dragged across the sky. Halfway down, Malik jerked Cameron sideways into a small alcove near the chapel doors, half hidden from the main path. Inmates, stay in line, the guard yelled, back turned. For a moment, no one saw them slip into that shadow corner, hearts pounding. The storm's first real curtain of rain slammed against the roof. The lights flickered. You want to yell at me? Malik snapped, low. Fine, yell. Anger and fear and the day's heat boiled over inside Cameron. You can't just decide my whole life, he hissed. You make river plans in your head. You talk about Puerto Rico like a bedtime story. You walk into the yard at the last second and act like some hero when you're the one who dragged me into this in the first place. Dragged you? Malik repeated, eyes flashing. You think I dragged you into anything? You the one who answered when I said, what if? You the one who keeps saying you tired of this place. Don't put that on me. You started it, Cameron said. And you finished the sentence, Malik shot back. I ain't ever forced one word out your mouth. You want to quit? Say it. Right now. Say, Malik, I'd rather sit in here till my hair go gray than take one step toward that river with you. I'll shut up. I'll leave it alone. The words hung between them, a challenge and a dare. Cameron opened his mouth. No sound came out. Thunder cracked, loud enough to make the walls vibrate. You can't, can you? Malik said quietly. You don't want to let it go. You mad 'cause you want it. 'Cause you want me. And that scare you worse than Reese ever could. Cameron's pulse slammed so hard, he could feel it in his teeth. Don't tell me what I want, he snapped. You don't know me like that. I know you better than you think, Malik said. I know you lay up in that bunk at night, picturing stuff you too scared to say out loud. Shut up, Cameron hissed, stepping in. Picture the river, Malik went on, not backing up. Picture me at your side instead of bunked under you. Picture that place I told you about, where people mind their business and let you breathe without asking what you did to earn it. I said, shut up. Cameron said, louder now. You don't want that? Malik demanded. You don't want to stand next to me somewhere? Nothing about this place can touch us. Lightning flared. The lights overhead flickered hard this time, dropping them into half dark for a heartbeat before humming back on. Something in Cameron snapped. You think I don't? He started, voice raw. He didn't finish. He shoved Malik. It wasn't hard enough to hurt him. Not really. Just enough to slam him back against the concrete wall with a dull thud. To put his hands on Malik's chest. To feel the solid heat of him under damp cloth. Rain hammered the roof. Voices echoed down the hall as the last stragglers were pushed past. In their little alcove, everything went very, very quiet. Don't talk to me like you're the only one risking something, Cameron said, breath hot, fingers curling in the front of Malik's shirt. Like you're the only one who wants out. Like you're the only one who... His voice shook. His grip tightened. Malik's hands came up, palms resting on Cameron's forearms, not pushing him away. Just holding. Steady. Who what, Cameron? He asked, voice gone low and rough. Say it. The sound of his name like that, full and soft and deep, broke the last thin thread of Cameron's restraint. I'm not scared of the river, Cameron whispered. I'm scared of losing you before we ever get there. They were close enough now that he could see every fleck of lighter brown in Malik's eyes, every drop of rain clinging to his lashes, the way his chest rose and fell faster under Cameron's hands. Malik's gaze dropped to Cameron's mouth, lingered there. Then don't, Malik said. It wasn't a promise. It wasn't a plan. It was permission. Cameron moved. It was messy, desperate, more collision than kiss at first. Their teeth clicked. One of them made a sound. Cameron didn't know if it was him or Malik. Then, Malik's hand slid up from his arms to his jaw, fingers strong and sure, angling his face just right, and everything clicked into place. Cameron tasted rain and salt. Malik kissed like he did everything else, with focus, with intention, with something held in check for too long, finally giving room. Cameron's back hit the wall now, Malik flipping their positions without breaking the kiss. The concrete was cool against his shoulder blades, Malik's body hot everywhere else, pressed chest to chest, hip to hip, nowhere to run, and no desire to. Cameron gasped when Malik's tongue slid against his, the shock of it, like stepping into deep water all at once. Malik swallowed the sound, deep in the kiss, one hand sliding to the back of Cameron's neck, thumb rubbing slow, grounding circles into his skin. Cameron's fingers fisted in Malik's shirt, pulling him closer like he could fuse them into one person and never have to think about fences again. The storm outside went wild, thunder cracking, rain pounding. Inside that little shattered corner, two men moved against each other with the same chaotic rhythm, breathing like they'd been holding it in for years. Cameron pivoted his head, chasing the angle that made Malik groan into his mouth. The sound shot straight through him, settling low and hot. Malik, he whispered into the space between kisses, name coming out like a prayer. Yeah, Malik breathed back, lips dragging along Cameron's jaw, finding the tender spot under his ear. I'm here. His teeth grazed skin just lightly, enough to make Cameron shiver. Hands slid down his sides, fingers digging into his hips through the thin fabric. For a few stolen seconds, there was no Angola, no Reese, no appeals, no Supreme Court. Just this, the heat of Malik's mouth, the urgency in his hands, the electric rush of being wanted, really, truly wanted, by someone who saw him at his lowest and stayed. Footsteps slapped closer in the main hallway. A guard's radio crackled. "Get 'em all inside." Storm's knocking out the cameras on the north side. Malik tore his mouth away, breathing hard. His forehead dropped to Cameron's, their noses bumping. "Damn," he muttered. "We can't." "I know," Cameron panted, heart slamming. "I know." They stood there, pressed together, both trying to slow their breathing, trying to pull their bodies back from the edge without really wanting to. "Look at me," Malik said. Cameron did. "If we do this," Malik said quietly, "we do it all the way. No half-ass in the river. No second-guessing when Reese comes sniffing around again. You in or you out?" Cameron swallowed, lips tingling, whole body buzzing. "In," he said. The word left no room for doubt. "I'm in." Malik's eyes searched his face like he was memorizing it. "Aight," Malik said. "Then we kiss and we plan and we keep our heads on straight, you hear me? We don't get sloppy just 'cause we finally admitted this, whatever this is. This is us," Cameron said, surprising himself with how sure he felt. "That's what it is." Malik's mouth curved, soft and dangerous. "Yeah," he said. "It is." He stole one more quick kiss, fast, fierce, more like a promise than anything else, before stepping back, putting an inch of air between them that felt like a mile. "Fix your shirt," he said, voice dropping back into that practical register. "You look kiss." "You did kiss me," Cameron shot back, though he smoothed the wrinkles anyway, fingers trembling. "Yeah," Malik said, with a quick flash of teeth. "And I plan on doing it again, but we ain't 2 seconds from a CO turning the corner." A guard's silhouette appeared at the far end of the hall. "You too," he barked. "Move it! I said get inside! Y'all deaf?" Malik's expression shuddered, slipping his mask back on so fast it made Cameron's head spin. By the time they stepped out of the alcove and into the main hallway, they looked like any two inmates hustling to avoid extra duty. "Jones," the CO snapped. "You late." "Won't happen again, CO," Malik said, posture relaxed, eyes bland. Cameron kept his face neutral, heart still jackhammering. As they joined the flow back toward the tiers, their hands didn't touch, their shoulders didn't brush. But Cameron could feel it, the new thing between them. Heavy, bright, dangerous, real. The storm raged for hours, knocking out power twice, making the whole prison groan and shudder. By the time it rolled past, the tier was a little quieter than usual. Storms took something out of you, even when you were just watching from behind bars. Cameron lay on his bunk, staring into the dark, replaying every second in the hallway. The shelf, the wall, the heat of Malik's mouth. The way his knees almost buckled when Malik said, "If I'm risking it with anybody, I'd rather it be you." He felt wired, alive, terrified. "Hey," Malik's voice came softly from below. "You awake?" "Yes," Cameron whispered. "Good," Malik said. "Means you can hear this." Paper rustled. Cameron leaned over the edge of his bunk. In the faint light from the far end of the tier, he could just see Malik holding something flat in his hands, their map smoothed out on his chest. I saw something on Levy today, Malik said. The storm pushed the water high against the wall where they ain't fixed it right in years. Concrete got little cracks all over it. They got a stack in sandbags, but there's a drainage ditch behind it that lead into a bayou running parallel to the fence. He tapped a spot on the paper. If we time it right, he said, and we got the right kind of rain, it could be a weak point. Not big enough for a whole riot, but big enough for two men who know what they're looking for. Cameron's pulse picked up again, for a different reason now. You're sure? He asked. I'm sure it's something, Malik said. More than I had last week. He turned the paper so Cameron could see the faint pencil marks. We start watching the weather for real now, Malik said. Not just, oh, it's hot. We track storm paths. We pay attention to how often they send my crew out there. We learn who on duty when it rains. And the other side? Cameron asked. Outside this place, we still need contacts, money, away from river to Bayou to wherever comes after. Yeah, Malik said. That's you. You decide that make sure when we get wet and muddy and tired, there's something more than handcuffs waiting on the bank. He looked up at Cameron, eyes steady. You still in? He asked. Cameron thought about their kiss, about his father's voice saying, we're regrouping, about Reese promising protection with a smile that felt like a trap. He thought about the feel of Malik's hand in his, breath hot against his lips, as thunder shook the building. I'm in, Cameron said again, all the way. Say less, Baptiste, Malik murmured. We don't make the river work for us, not the other way around. He folded the map carefully, sliding it back into its hiding spot. Get some sleep, he said. Tomorrow you write your daddy. Tell him you need access to that trust. Tell him you want to be ready in case of opportunities. He ain't got to know what kind. And Puerto Rico? Cameron asked quietly. Malik shifted under him, rolling onto his back. One step at a time, Malik said. First the levee, then the bayou, then the boat, then we see. And if we make it? Cameron pressed. Silence for a heartbeat. If we make it, Malik said, voice soft. Maybe one day we figure out what it feel like to kiss without a guard yelling down the hall. Cameron's chest squeezed. A laugh and a sob tangled together. I'd like that, he whispered. Yeah, Malik said. Me too. Outside, the Mississippi rolled on, swollen with storm water, pressing against the levees like it was testing them. Inside, on Tier C, two men lay in separate bunks in the same small cell, their hearts and plans braided tighter than ever. The river was rising, so were they.